Everybody is talking about these 8 sacks that Carson Wentz took. So we're basically going to go over every single one. And I'm going to break them down. I'm going to see whose fault it really was. Is it on Wentz? Because I'm hearing some crazy stuff. Some of y'all saying we need to move on from Wentz, get Jalen Hurts going, this, that. Well, we're going to go over it, and we're going to really break down these sacks, all right? You know what time it is. It's Philly the podcast. Let's go.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
So we're going to basically go over these, like I said. If you like content like this, please do be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like, share with your friends, do all of that. So we're going to start off with the first sack. Now this one I'm going to have to put on Herbig and Boston Scott mainly. I do, sprinkle in a little bit of fault on Carson Wentz. You want to be able to see him throw that ball away. And I also do put a little bit of blame on Driscoll. He does get beat on the other side, which just creates no pocket. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it, and I'm going to try and pause it at the right time, but if you look at it, you end up in a situation where you have Herbig sliding over to help Kelsey, and you got 91 just basically sliding right through the middle, and he's unblocked. Boston Scott has to go, or decides to go help Driscoll, who kind of gets beat on the outside. He has his man going a little bit wide, but if the guy up the middle is taken care of, that's not a problem. Wentz can just kind of step up, but since, there's nobody over there to help, that's the situation you end up with. So you have the situation where you got 4 people blocking on the left side, and there's only 3 people to block on that side. And then there's 2 people on the right side, but our 2 people are only blocking 1 person. So that becomes a big problem. So I have to put this one on Herbig and Boston Scott. You have to know where each other has to be. Someone missed an assignment, and Boston Scott as the running back, you're kind of the last line of defense back there as the blockers. Number 2, this is a good defensive play. I mean, it is what it is. Carson Wentz tries to run up a little bit and get some of the yards back. As far as fault on this one, Wentz should have threw the ball away, but I can't say he's at fault that the sack happened. I think you want your quarterback to throw it away, but at the same time, there are some situations where you have to just tuck the ball in and just, fall to the ground. So kudos to him. It was a blown up screen. Like I said, you do have time to throw it at someone's feet, and that's kind of what you want to see, but I can't really blame him, like I said. So just a good defensive play. That's where we're going to chalk that one up as. Now, number 3. This is another one. On paper, this goes on JP probably, because JP did kind of technically get beaten. The D end was on the outside again, and that's something that Carson Wentz, which he did, he steps up into the pocket, which is what you want your quarterback to do. I personally am going to be putting this on Clement and a little bit of Wentz, because again, he just made the play worse by coughing up the ball. But either way, I put this one on Clement because if you see, and again, I'm going to try and pause it right at the perfect time, but if you see Clement bumps JP's man, I'm assuming to help him, obviously, and he basically bumps him into a better position to make the play. So now the defensive lineman that was on the outside and kind of running around Wentz is now spun on to the inside and is right in front of Wentz, right in Wentz's lap, and basically allows him to grab a hold of him and the ball, and Wentz ends up coughing up the ball. Number 4 is rough. It's kind of obvious that he was supposed to be chipped by the wide receiver on the outside. Me personally, I don't know why Doug Peterson's so into letting these free rushers go, I should say. This one I have to put on Doug, to be honest. Wentz obviously could have, tried to get rid of the ball quicker, threw it at someone's feet. Would have been a risk either way. Maybe the, blocker could have maybe blocked him a little better, maybe more of a, a holding chip. I don't know what you want to call that. But I have to put this on Doug because I'm not putting one of my wide receivers on. I think Montez Sweat that gets this sack. I'm not putting one of my, 192-pound wide receivers on that man beast. So I'm putting this one on Doug. Now, number five, this is all on Wentz. I mean, you can see right here, if you count the Mississippis, I think he had about 3, 4, maybe 5 seconds in that pocket. This one is probably the worst. Not probably. This one is the worst one of all of them. It was avoidable. I'm not saying he could have gotten yards out of it, but he could have thrown the ball away a couple of times in that whole scenario. And then you see, I mean, this was the meme a lot of people saw, and people were saying it wasn't real. But I'm going to just basically freeze frame that for a second. You know, that's the whole offensive line got beat. You know, and like I said, I don't know what happened. But after a couple seconds, you have to get rid of that ball. So for me, it's solely on Wentz. You have to get rid of that ball, you know. And this one, I believe, ended up just being a loss of an extra 10 yards. But, you know, it could have easily been another fumble. And on third down, I understand you want to get something to happen, but, you know, sometimes you got to just tuck your tail and be ready for the next set series, you know, and that's really going to be the tail of the tape here, man. You know, Wentz just over and over and over wanted to get too much out of the play. We skip now to number 6. Number 6, this one's on Wentz, and this is Scott as well. You guys have to pick up this blitz. You know, it's pretty easy in my opinion, to be honest. Like, he's just, it's obvious that he was going to blitz, you know, and he just came right in there. So, you know, I have to put this one right on both of them. You just have to be better. Number 7, this one I'm going to have to fault Seumalo and Clement. You're going to hear the running backs' names a lot for me. You know, they, like I said, they are the last line of defense. And especially when you're left back there, to block, you have to, you know, make these blocks. Seumalo was late to get to the block he pulled. Obviously, it was a play action. They were trying to sell the run, and Seumalo was just late. But, you know, Clement, you got to be there. You have to be there. You have to protect your quarterback. This one's pretty simple. This is on Wentz. This was the end of the game. This basically ended the game. Obviously, this was a big fumble. There's not much to say about this. This was Wentz trying to do too much. A little bit more understandable in the fourth quarter when you're down by 10 than the ones that we saw when, you know, we were up or, you know, just tied 17-17. Sometimes we went for broke. We should not have been doing that. But I can't put every single one on Wentz. Did Wentz make the play worse in a lot of these situations? Yes, he did. I will say that. And that's something we need to work on. We've given him 5 years. Is that too much time? Is it, you know, time to move on from him? I'd love to know what you guys think. I want to know, do you think Carson Wentz is the Eagles' future? Or is it time to start looking elsewhere? Please let me know in the comments. Other than that, you guys know what time it is. It's Fly, Eagles, Fly, and we out here. Peace.